What is fair? Fairness, in terms of economic compensation, is generally based on two factors: effort and utility. Bob and Tom are brothers who are fishermen. They share a boat their father gave them. Based on effort and trust, at the end of the day they divide the fish they caught evenly to feed themselves and their families. Based on utility, trust is not required, and if Bob caught 20 fish and Tom caught 15, they would divide their total based on proportion. Which method is more fair, effort or utility? What if Bob is a naturalist and he knows where and how to catch the best worms for bait? What if this is why he catches more fish? But Bob and Tom are not competitive, and Bob cares for his brother and his family, so he shares his worm knowledge with Tom, and now Tom also catches 20 fish a day. What if Tom is an engineer and he designs a better fishing rod, and now he catches 25 fish a day? Tom shares this knowledge with Bob, and now they both catch 25 fish a day. In a non-competitive setting, collective utility can be enhanced through culture. Meet John and Pete. John and Pete fish from the same lake and do compete. John designs a fishing net that allows him to catch 50 fish a day, but his boat can only hold 30 fish. But Pete designs a larger boat that can hold 50 fish, but he only catches 25. Meet Dave. Dave is not a fisherman, but he is a charismatic opportunist. Dave strikes up a deal with John and Pete and encourages them to share technology and maximize their productivity. Now John and Pete both have larger boats and fishing nets, and each catch 50 fish a day. But now we have to factor in Dave to the proportion of the catch. What is Dave's utility? What is his effort? What is a fair amount of fish for Dave? An even split? Or perhaps Dave should get less, because his effort is arguably lower. Perhaps he should get more, because the role of a social organizer has synergetic utility. In a more complex society, Dave would employ dozens of Johns and Petes, and Dave would encourage all of them to constantly share technology. Pretty soon Dave would bring on a team of executives, and they would hire managers, and they would hire more fishermen, and things would get even more complex. In complex societies, the Bob and Tom model is almost entirely obsolete. Where we tend to disagree, politically, is measuring Dave's utility. What is a fair proportion for guys like Dave? Generally speaking, the more complex and competitive a system is, the higher Dave's utility is perceived to be. On the franchise level, the personnel structure might look like this. Almost all participants within this structure contribute utility in some form. But on the corporate level, for which there is no objective way to determine utility, at least not in the Bob and Tom sense, the personnel structure looks like this. Everyone here is a Dave. The objective utility is down here. If we determine compensation based on the average amount of subordinates, the averaged corporate individual against 5 averaged franchise subordinates would look like this. But here's where people tend to have a problem. Proportions for an individual from the averaged highest tier of corporate against 5 averaged franchise subordinates looks like this. That, my friends, is a lot of f***ing utility.